welcome to this exciting episode of the Brain Ladle Trivia Podcast. I am your grand poobah, your head honcho, your number one guy, Davo. How you doing, Kels?
Oh, I've got a license to thrill and I'll use it.
Ooh. And Neil, how are you? Are you thrilling?
Am I what?
Exactly. Exactly.
I kind of feel like this. Kind of feel like this hosting stuff's going to your head, Davo. You're getting grander and grander every episode.
I know, right?
I have to. This is the one thing I have because the trivia hasn't been working out for me.
Well, that is a good point.
So, as was said in that wonderful movie Galaxy Quest, I have one job. It's stupid, but let me do it.
Carry on.
Well,
that's what every good show needs is a Galaxy Quest quote.
Thank you. And tell us who you are, please.
Stranger who's butting in on our podcast.
Who are you?
Oh boy.
Well, who I am, like you said, I am Billy, and I am the host of Trivia Rogues podcast. So basically, when you have a lot of other podcasts, like trivia podcasts, which are a lot of them are excellent, there's a lot of question and answer, but we focus more on the okay, so here's the answer, but let's go more into it. So, because the thing is, like, you can get a question, but any trivia or any trivia night, you're not necessarily going to get that question. You could get a question that's related to that in some way, but not necessarily that particular answer. So we'd like to take one topic and we kind of dive deeper into it and kind of cover it more broad as compared to a single answer.
Oh, that's cool. That's kind of the inspiration for what we were doing. Is we, instead of doing a general knowledge quiz, we do a very specific kind of quiz with the generalities underneath it. If you see what I'm saying.
Yeah, and I actually like what you guys do there because if you have that one really good topic, it really draws people in. Like, oh man, I think I can do really well in this, so I'm going to tune in. Like, yeah, there's definitely an attraction there.
Well, thank you for joining us tonight.
No, thank you guys for having me.
Well, we have a game that we're going to play tonight, our usual game, but this time the stakes are a bit higher. Yes, the Trivia Rogues have challenged us via Twitter. It's our first Twitter beef. It's pretty great.
Well, let's calm it down a bit.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can call it beef yet.
No,
it's got to reach stages to be a beef.
Oh.
Yeah, see, the thing is, we're both young shows. I don't think we should beef just yet. I think we should be working together to grow, and then we can beef.
Healthy competition right now.
So we'll I'm all about healthy competition. But
absolutely.
But beef sounds more, gotcha. Like, ooh, check out the beef between the rogues and the ladlers. But, yeah. They're going to win because they're rogues. Ladlers just sounds...
It's hard to do that though because I listen to you guys' show. I like it. I mean, I don't want to beef.
Oh well, I don't want to beef either. I just thought that's what we had to do since it's like a Twitter thing.
All right, fine. We're beefing.
Beef away.
Well then,
you walked right into it.
I almost dropped some bombs here.
I hope I didn't walk into a beef. Anyway, enough talk about beef. The Trivia Rogues have decided to challenge us at Brain Ladle on a specific topic, and they have been gracious enough to write the questions for today. So, Billy, what are we doing?
All right. So, I've listened to you guys' shows for actually once. Actually, Neil had contacted us for a Stump the Rogues, which is where our beginning segment, which we have the listeners can email us to send us a quiz and we can do it on the air. And Neil actually sent one into us. It was about game shows, and it was really great. So that's when I started listening to you guys, and I was listening. I'm like, oh, they've got a couple of good categories here so far, and I noticed there was no video games, so that's what it is.
Excellent. So Neil, what are the rules?
Well, we have a category this week. Apparently, it's video games, and then there should be six categories with 4 questions each. Each question's worth 10 points and maybe a few bonus points thrown in. And then a final question where we can bid some or all of our points.
I like how Neil says apparently. You guys don't even tell them what the quiz is about.
Well, I think the reason we haven't had a video game category yet is I don't know how gamery Neil is.
Yeah, this one's going to be a challenge for me, but I'm going to be a good sport and try not to complain too much.
Aw, what a good sport.
What a guy.
If it's more old school games and has some PC games thrown in, then I might be okay, especially some old arcade games maybe, but console games.
Yeah, we got some old school games going on here, and then definitely some classics going on here. And I don't think I think maybe only 2 games within the last 10, 15 years maybe.
Oh,
all right.
That's going to work for me. That's going to work. I'm excited.
Yeah, so all right, so shall we get started, gentlemen?
Yes, sir. I am ready.
All right, so the first category is going to be in characters. Like I said, we might start off easy, but we'll see how it goes.
Okay.
Characters, number 1. This famous character first appeared in 1991 as an effort to compete with Nintendo's Superstar Plumber. Bonus points. You have 2 bonus points if you can name his sidekick as well, but instead, you can get 5 bonus points if you can say his actual name, not his nickname.
The sidekick's actual name?
Yes.
Man.
Oh, dang it.
But we get bonus points if we can name him though, right?
Yeah, so you get 2 bonus points if you can tell me his nickname, but you get 5 bonus points if you know his actual name.
Man. All right, I won't get greedy. I'll lock in with what I got.
I'm locked in as well.
I'm locked in.
All right, so we go first to last, or we go the last person to lock in talks?
We go with whatever you want.
All right, well, I heard Kel's lock in first, so what you got, bud?
I went with Sonic the Hedgehog, and his sidekick would be Tails. And I don't know his real name because he never told me that. We had history, but he
Did
left
you have
that
beef?
out. No, we never had beef. Tails is pretty chill.
Tails is pretty chill.
Yeah.
All right, so David, what you got?
Sonic the Hedgehog and Tails, who I always preferred to play as.
Oh, yeah, he flies around. Why wouldn't you want to play Tails?
Awesome.
Tails is amazing. All right, and Neil?
I guess Sonic, and I have no idea on the sidekick.
Oh, okay. All right, well, the correct answer is, of course, Sonic the Hedgehog. His sidekick was, in fact, named Tails, but that was his nickname. So that's 2 bonus points for Davo and Kells. His sidekick's actual name, Tails' real name, is actually Miles Prower.
Oh, that's
I would have never got that.
Oh, I love it.
See, so I like a couple things. Like, I mean, I know it's not exactly Prowler, but like he's a fox. So Prowler kind of sounds like Prowler, but then it's also the miles per hour, which is just amazing.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
Yeah, very. Miles per hour. Fantastic.
All right. So, number 2. What famous video game character was told, "It's dangerous to go alone. Take this"?
I'm locked in.
As am I.
When it says "take this," it's a sword.
Oh. Okay, then I'm locked in.
All right, Neil, did I help you out at all? What you got, bud?
Well, I don't know if you helped me out or not. You'll have to tell me. That led me to Link.
Okay. And Kels?
Inigo Montoya. No, I wrote Link. I'm just kidding.
And Davo?
Link.
All right, Kels, you're going to be mad. It was Inigo Montoya.
You always go with your heart, man. Always.
Exactly. No, of course, the answer is Link. In the very first game, you go in that cave right where you start, and there's a guy with a sword. It's dangerous to go alone. Take this.
Hot take, Legend of Zelda, overrated.
Hot take, you're wrong. Just saying, Majora's Mask for the Nintendo 64 was probably one of my favorite games of all time. That was just freaking fabulous.
It was. But the first one was, I never really got into it.
The first ones were hard. I mean, they're just really freaking hard. All right, here we go. Number 3. This pink ball of cuteness got his famous ability to copy enemy powers in his second game in his titular franchise.
Locked in.
And I will also
Sorry.
offer a bonus of 2 points if anyone can name 3 of the abilities he could copy in the first game he could copy abilities.
Ooh.
I never played any of these games.
I'm locked in.
I'm locked in as well.
All right, David, what are you thinking?
I went with Kirby.
All right.
I know I couldn't think of 3 powers. I know he could fly. I know he ended up being able to fly. It's been so long since I played a Kirby game, but I went with Kirby.
Okay, and Kels?
I also went with Kirby, and I wrote down played baseball well, but I don't think it's the same Kirby.
Probably not. All right, Neil, what are you thinking?
The only pink character I could think of was Kirby.
All right, the answer is Kirby.
Mm-hmm.
And in his first game where he was able to copy abilities, he was able to get all of the following: ball, beam, burning, crush, cutter, fire, freeze, hammer, high jump, ice, laser, light, microphone, there's a lot, needle, parasol, sleep, sword, spark, star rod, stone, throw, tornado, wheel, and UFO.
Did he have the Infinity Gauntlet? Ooh.
I think he might have. I was surprised how much they got in that game.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Yeah, there was a lot going on in that game, that's for sure. All right, let's finish up this category with question 4. What tough and scrappy character fought the likes of Glass Joe, King Hippo, and Mike Tyson?
I'm locked in.
Oh, dude.
I'm locked in.
I am so mad at myself.
Prepare your foot for.
Yeah, I'm going to kick my own butt.
Yeah.
All right, did everybody lock in?
No, I'm struggling.
Oh, okay, we have to go. Okay.
I need a moment of agony. I'm locked in. I'm so mad.
I'm still mad.
I am mad.
All right, let's start with Kells this time.
I believe it was Little Mac.
All right, and Neil?
I thought it was an earless Evander Holyfield.
And Davo.
I said Tom.
It is not Tom or Holyfield, but gosh darn it, it sure is Little Mac.
Dang it!
Mario was the referee.
I know.
Yeah, I was getting a question of who the referee was, but I decided to go with Little Mac instead.
I wish you'd gone with the latter. Ugh.
I'm sure I did. I went with Little Mac. That's what I said.
No, I'm all mixed up.
You might be farmer.
Yeah, I did. Little Mac is messing with my head. Dang it.
Not to be confused with his older cousin, Big Mac.
Big Mac.
And his uncle Bernie Mac.
All right, so that completes the category. What do we got for scores? We have it?
Yes, we do. We have Neil doing surprisingly well with 30. Davo has 32, and Kells in the lead with 42.
All right, well, let's go ahead and jump into category 2, which is items. Video game items. Oh, yes. Tremble in fear. All right, number 1. Name 3 of the 5 fruits that appear and jump around the board in Pac-Man. And you can also get a bonus point if you name any of the additional bonus items that aren't pellets or ghosts.
I'm going to lock in with what I got.
That sounds promising.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to lock in too.
All right.
I'm locked in.
All right, so Neil, go ahead.
3 of the fruits were cherries, oranges, and strawberries. And I think there was a key.
Okay. And Kels?
I went with cherry, strawberry, and banana. And I didn't know any of the bonus items because I don't think I ever got that far in Pac-Man, now that I think about it. Never saw it.
Pac-Man was hard. All right, Davo, what do you got?
I have banana, cherry, and strawberry. And I didn't put any of the other stuff in there because I played Pac-Man at the Pizza Hut when it was the table size Pac-Man.
So did I, and it was amazing.
So good. So good.
So greasy. So absolutely greasy. Your hands fall off the joystick because some moron with pepperoni hands was messing with it.
Oh my God, yes.
It's like, come on, parents. Have your kids wash their hands before they spread their filth all over the game.
Yeah, just wipe it down just a sec. Come on.
Those grease demons. Okay. So, the 5 fruits that were acquired in Pac-Man were cherries, strawberries, oranges, apples, and melons.
No banana?
No banana.
Oh man,
No tiny banana. The bonus items. So after the fruits, there were a spaceship, a bell, and well, wouldn't you know it? It's a key.
What?
Neil,
a spaceship.
look at that.
I played some Pac-Man.
Neil.
So we get no points for that.
None.
There are no points.
I think the banana was in Miss Pac-Man.
Probably so.
That might be right.
The banana.
This Pac-Man was so much better than Pac-Man
It was, and I don't really know why.
because it was faster.
Oh, it's the
Oh
bow.
yeah. Okay. And the fashion.
Significantly faster too.
Oh wow.
And the bow. I mean, come on,
And
it's legit.
yeah.
And also, just for listeners, I mean, so I imagine a lot of your listeners like the, go to trivia nights and all that. So a good thing to know is the 4 ghosts were Inky, Pinky, Blinky, and Clyde.
Indeed.
With the 4 ghosts, that will come up in trivia at some point.
Yep. Yes. Absolutely.
All right, number 2. This one, not so easy, I don't think. Not including the chainsaw, how many weapons were you allowed to carry in the original Doom? And I'll give you guys another hint there. The weapons were accessed by the numbers on the keyboard.
I'm locked in with a guess.
Yeah, I'm like that.
I'm locked in.
I never played Doom.
Oh, you never played Doom? Doom was so good. The original one was so good. All right, Neil, what's your guess, bud?
I guessed 4.
Okay, Kels?
I also guessed 4.
All right, and Davo?
6.
All right, so if you press the 1 button on your keyboard, you'd get a chainsaw, but that one didn't count.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 was a pistol. 3 was the chain gun. 4 was the shotgun. 5 was a rocket launcher. 6 was the plasma rifle. And 7 was the BFG, which means there were 6 guns.
Knew it. I love it.
Well done,
love
sir.
It. Thank you.
Yeah, that first Doom game was so good.
That was the first episode I discovered. That game was the first time I discovered flinch firing was an actual thing in a game. That first door opened up, and I'd never played it before, and the creature jumped out at me, and I emptied my clip. Just, oh my god!
All right, here we go. Number 3. One of my favorite video games of all time, Banjo-Kazooie, was centered around a bear with a bird companion in his backpack. Together, they traveled around to collect Jiggies. What shape do all Jiggies take? I played the crap out of this when I was a kid.
Never got around to playing it.
Yeah, so basically it was like the reward system for completing quests to get a Jiggy, and they all looked the exact same way.
I'm locking in with a guess because I didn't play enough Banjo Kazooie.
All right, I'm locked in.
I don't even know why I'm thinking about this. I know there was a game called Banjo Kazooie.
He's not making that part.
I'm locked in.
And there was even a sequel called Banjo Tooie.
Of course there was.
Just saying. Just saying. Irrelevant, but just saying. All right, Davo, what do you got?
I wrote down a puzzle piece.
Okay, and Kels?
Oh, with a hexagon.
And Neil?
I think they were probably kazoo shaped.
All right, well, the answer was pretty much there. It is a jigsaw puzzle piece.
Oh.
All right, so in what might be one of the greatest video games of all time, no questions. If you disagree, you're wrong. What weapon is used as a one-hit kill in the first-person shooter GoldenEye?
Locked in.
I'm locked in as well.
I'm locked in.
All right, Neil, do you wanna get it over with?
Sure. Well, I think GoldenEye might be James Bond related, and he liked his martini shaken and not stirred, so I went with a swizzle stick.
Oh my god.
That is some precise swizzle stick movement right there to kill someone with that. All right, Kels, what do you got? What?
I believe it's the golden gun.
All right, and Davo?
The golden gun.
The correct answer is Golden Gun. Taken, of course, from the movie Man with the Golden Gun. So now the game was based off of the GoldenEye movie, but the Golden Gun comes from the Man with the Golden Gun. Now, what's misleading is the in the movie The Man with the Golden Gun, it wasn't that the gun killed with one shot anywhere. It was the guy who wielded it. He was a very good assassin.
Yeah.
Scaramanga, that's right. All three nipples. All three of them. All right, Neil, so where are we at with scores?
Score-wise, Neil has 41, Kels has 52, and Davo has 62.
Oh. All right, Davo, try to keep it up, man. All right, let's do it.
I'm with it.
Kels, man, you can get this, and Neil, just you got this, man. Just let's go. You got this.
I'm having a good time.
Oh, I'm having a great time. Like I said, man, I'm driving this damn train. We're gonna have a great time. All right. Category 3, we got consoles.
Yay! I like consoles.
Everyone loves consoles. All right. Number 1, Nintendo's first handheld game was the Game Boy. What shapely game was packaged with it? And I will also award 5 bonus points if you can tell me the current all-time best-selling game for the Game Boy.
Ooh.
These are all excellent noises we're making. Grade A noises.
Man.
I'm locked in.
I'm locked in too.
I'm locked in.
All right, so Nintendo's first handheld game was the Game Boy. What shapely game was packaged with it? Neil, what'd you say?
Tetris.
All right, and Kels?
I went with Tetris, and I just threw a wild one out there for the highest selling game with Tetris 2.
Tetris 2. The epic sequel to Tetris was Tetris 2. There were extra shapes. Okay, and Davo?
Now with circles.
Yeah, there you go. That was a joke I was looking for that didn't come up. Yes, beautiful. All right, Dave, let's get my thunder and answer the question because now I'm mad.
Tetris, and my thought for the best-selling Game Boy game of all time was Dr. Mario.
Oh, Dr. Mario was awesome. All right,
it was.
And so everyone but Dave gets the points because it's Tetris, and he stole my thunder, so he doesn't get points this round. Yes.
What?
All right, fine. You can have him too.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh my gosh.
See, you had to grovel to me because I am the champion.
I did. You're driving the train. I want to stay
am.
on the train.
Exactly. I don't want to unhook you.
I want to stay on the train.
All right. So the answer was Tetris, and the all-time best-selling game for the Game Boy was Pokemon Red and Blue.
Oh my god! How could I forget Pokemon?
Oh, those games were just absolutely gigantic. All right, the next question, and I hope you boys like math.
Neil does.
Oh, Neil, I hope this somehow works out for you. So, add the total number of buttons on these controllers. And this does not include the D-pad, so the directional pad. The GameCube, the Wii, and the 64 controller. And here's a hint. The 64 controller has less than 64 buttons.
Thank you.
You are absolutely welcome. Oh, and just also, I do believe, just in case there are some people out there who are going to call me out on my crap, this does not include the little reset button on the Wii controller. Does not count.
Oh.
Or connect button, wherever that was.
Are we counting like trigger buttons?
Yes, so trigger buttons would count. But like little anything like a directional pad or a joystick would not count.
So we're adding up the 64, the GameCube, and
the Wii. Yep.
The Wii? Oh my gosh.
Okay. I'm locked in.
All right.
I'm locked in.
All right, Kel's, pressure's on, man.
All right, I'm locked in.
Okay, well, since the pressure's on Kel's, let's go with Kel's first.
Aha.
I went with 27.
Woof.
All right, and Neil?
So I actually had a GameCube and a Wii at different times. In fact, I probably still do, packed in a box somewhere. But I don't think I've ever even played an N64. So I just kind of made a guess on that one. And I went with 25.
Okay, and Davo?
18.
If I would have went within one, Kells and Neil would have gotten it. It's 26.
As soon as I said it, I was like, man, there's no trigger on the GameCube. Because the Z on the...
Oh, well, there's triggers there's like a right and left bumper kind of triggers.
That's at the top though. I meant like the Z box.
Oh, I mean in the back or whatever? Yeah. All right, so the N64 controller had 10 buttons. It had 4 yellow buttons.
C buttons.
Then an A and a B.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right. There's C buttons. So 4 C buttons, an A button, a B button, a start, a trigger in the back, which was Z, and then it had 2 bumpers, R and L. That was 10 for that.
Okay.
And then the GameCube had, I believe it was X and Y and A and B. It had a start. It had the L and R triggers, but it also had a very small Z bumper right in front of the right bumper, or right in front of the right trigger in the back.
Oh, man.
Very small blue one.
Okay.
And then the Wii, of course, has the power button, the A button, the plus, minus, and the home button, 1, 2, and the trigger in the back, which was 8. So 8 plus 8 plus 10 is 26.
Oh, my gosh. Boy, I bet you and Neil feel really...
I cannot believe 27 and 25. I puckered.
I was going to ask you if we had a range, but
Oh man.
I kind of am I allowed to give a within one now? Because I love it so much. This is my game. I'm giving plus ones.
Y'all did great.
This is my game. Let it be known. I am driving this train, which I don't think even drive trains. That's not even a thing. But I'm going plus or minus 1.
Well, if you really want to make it happen, why don't you go plus or minus 10? Because that would get me in the ballpark.
Hey, let's not get ridiculous here. We're trying to run a business here. Let's be honest. This isn't anarchy.
I mean, Davo, you would have been right if you'd left off one of those controllers. One entire controller.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You're talking an awful lot of smack for someone who just got a charity point.
I love charity points.
It's a charity 10 points, by the way.
That is a lot of charity. You are a generous soul.
I do what I can do. Number 3. All right. Number 3. According to GameSpot.com, what console is the best-selling of all time?
Hold up. I'm gonna roll with it. I'm locked in.
I'll lock in.
I'll lock in.
All right, Davo, just because it tickles me so, we'll let you go first.
I'm gonna say the PS4.
Okay, and Neil?
I went with the NES.
Oh, okay. And Kels?
I went with the PlayStation DOS.
All right. One of you did get it correct. The answer is, well, actually, I'll go with the second place. The second place is the Nintendo DS with 154 million, and only by a million more, the PlayStation 2.
Wow.
The PS2 had 155 million sold.
Wow. Good job,
Thank you.
Kels.
Yeah, that was pretty epic. And I still have it up here. PlayStation 4, 63.3 million. And
Oh man, I thought it was.
and strangely enough, immediately afterwards is the NES, 61.9 million.
So combined, we aren't as much as the correct.
Oh yeah, the PlayStation 2 was
I'm
just perfect timing. It was
yeah.
right there. It was great. All right, and the last one. Before Nintendo started making their consoles, what type of company were they? Meaning, what did they sell?
Oh my gosh. I used to
I believe we discussed this on Trivia Rogues recently.
I'm locked in.
Of course you are, Neil.
I've heard this somewhere. It might have been on Trivia Rogues.
I'm locked in. I'm not feeling good about it, but I'm locked
All
in.
right. Kels, did you lock in yet, bud?
Nah, because I'm trying to anticipate how mad at myself I'm gonna be.
Oh, don't worry about that. I'll tell you. You're going to be very mad at yourself. I just saved you some time. You are welcome.
You're a really sweet guy. All right. I'm locked in.
All right, Kels. You are so enthusiastic. I just can't imagine how I can go with anybody but you here.
Yeah, I gotta learn how to keep my energy down. I went with computers.
Yeah, please calm down. This is getting ridiculous.
I went with computers. I know it's not right.
Okay. All right, Neil.
Well, I know that Nintendo was created as a company before 1900. I know it's really really old, and I don't think they were making computers back then.
You don't know. You weren't there.
Prove it.
I think they manufactured playing cards.
Oh God.
And Davo?
I said candy because I like candy.
Okay, well, by that logic, all the rest of the answers in this quiz are also candy because Davo likes candy. But the correct...
So I get
100%, absolutely. But the correct answer is cards. Well done, Neil.
Thank you.
Oh, man. Yeah, good job, Neil. Always happy to see you shine.
Thanks, Kels. That means a lot to me.
You guys are so nice to each other. It's actually kind of nauseating.
Oh. I have to do something about
Please
that.
be meaner to each other. That'd be so much nicer.
It's that Southern politeness we've got.
Oh, see, I'm from Chicago, so we don't know how to do that. All right, so we all updated on scores there?
Yeah, we've got, for scores, we've got Neil with 71, Davo with 72, and Kels with 82.
Oh. Ooh.
It's anybody's game.
Oh, man, anybody's game.
This is anybody's game. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to category 4, which is franchises. And we're going back to an earlier question. Now I'm trying to make sure that all the main questions are from different games. So, but this one we kind of revisited this one earlier, but we'll see how it goes. Within 50, how many Pokemon does their franchise currently recognize as of November of 2018? Last thing I knew, they had 150 of them. So that might have been a hint that I probably shouldn't have done.
I'm like,
I'm locked in.
Okay.
I'm locked in also.
So Davo, what do you got, bud?
510.
510. Neil, what do you got?
Yeah, this is a game I've never played. I don't know anything about Pokemon except that there seems to be a lot of them. I just guess 700.
Okay, and Kels.
I went with 280.
I thought you were going to say 2,000.
I just
280.
2,312,000. Wow, that's directly on the dot. How'd you know that? Okay. So last thing I knew, there was 150 back in 98 when I knew what Pokemon was when I was 10. But as of right now, there are 809 Pokemon. So anything from 759 to 759 to 859 would have been acceptable.
God bless.
Yeah, there are so
I
many.
thought I was guessing high with 510.
That's what I probably would have guessed too, something around there. I could not believe how many there are now.
That's ridiculous.
These kids today and all their Pokemon.
Yeah, like come on, there's too many Pokemon. Let's just be adults here and have like 150 of them.
We may do with 150 Pokemon.
I said the same thing in the same voice to two whippersnappers in my lawn playing Pokemon Go. I was like, hey, when I was a kid,
I played on the Game Boy like you're supposed to, not these phones with their GPS.
When I had to play Game Boy, it was only slightly colored. Not 3D like all you spoiled little brats. All right, number 2. The Madden franchise has been around since 1988. Except for this last year, the current year game, name me any of the players to be featured on a cover in the last 5 years. So as this year's was Antonio Brown. I need any of the 5 years before him.
I'm locked in.
Okay, I'm locked in.
All right, we all locked in?
Sure.
I love the confidence, Neil.
All right. Oh, yeah. So, Neil, what the heck? Let's go, man.
Well, if there's anything I am worse at than video games, it is football. I'm trying to name a football player that I think would be on Madden. I don't know. I think Warren Moon's making a comeback, so I went with Warren Moon.
Warren Moon making a comeback.
Wow.
That's the last football player I think I could name.
And Kels, what do you got?
I went with Megatron, Calvin Johnson.
Megatron, Calvin Johnson, and Davo.
I went with Beast Mode.
Beast Mode as in,
Marshawn
before
Lynch.
I give you an answer that you maybe was not right. All right. And unfortunately, no one got that one right.
What?
This year was Antonio Brown. The year, and then I'm going to go back in previous years. So it was Antonio Brown, Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski, Odell Beckham Jr.,
I was thinking
Richard Sherman. And then the year before that was a special one. There were 2 releases. One of them had Barry Sanders, which would have been a deep cut pick there, Neil. And AP, or Adrian Peterson was the other one.
So
wowee! I thought I had 2 of them in my brain. I was like, no, it can't be this.
was Calvin Johnson never on the cover?
Funny. No, Calvin Johnson was. I actually think it was the one before Richard Sherman. I can't know that, or I'm sorry, before AP maybe, but it was definitely like 1 or 2, like right at that list mark.
Oh, okay.
Like Madden 13, I think, had Calvin Johnson on it.
I was thinking there's a Seahawk on the cover, and he has dreads.
I knew Richard Sherman.
That adds up to Richard Sherman.
Yeah.
You said 5 years?
Yeah, 5 years.
Of the release date or the cover date?
Just the cover game. So like, so this was Madden 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13. So maybe it wasn't 13. Maybe it was
like 12 or something.
the one before that, I guess. But yeah, because I looked at the list, so it is what it is.
Man.
All right, number 3. And this one, I'm just going to go ahead and say, if anyone knows anything about me, then great, which I don't understand how that would be possible. But the answer to this question is my favorite video game, no question about it, of all time. Just laying it out there, not important. Number 3, what popular game franchise visits historical time periods such as the Crusades, the Renaissance, the American Revolution, and the French Revolution, just to name a few?
Locked in.
Me too.
Locked in.
All right, Kels, what do you got?
I went with Assassin's Creed.
Assassin's Creed. That's
Hey, this is a family podcast.
the emphasis on the wrong syllable there, my friend. And Neil?
Yeah, I've never played any of these games, but I'm kind of intrigued because of the whole history thing, and I also answered Assassin's Creed.
All right, and Davo?
With arms wide open. I answered Creed, Assassin.
Oh. Well, the correct answer, and my all-time favorite video game franchise, is Assassin's Creed.
And Neil, they are wonderful games.
Oh, they are just, it's crazy. Like, all right, let's go and jump on to the next question, number 4. It makes sense, considering that Microsoft made the Halo series, that the main character, Master Chief, has an AI sidekick named this.
I'm locked in.
I am locked in as well.
Me too.
All right, Davo.
Cortana.
And Neil?
Unsurprisingly, I have never played Halo. I have no idea what the sidekick's name is, but based on your clue, I guessed Clippy.
Everyone loves Clippy.
I want Clippy.
See, now I feel like Master Chief's an idiot. Like, why are you messing around with this computer chick when you could have had a little talking paperclip? You idiot! Get your crap together. Everyone wants Clippy. Clippy was amazing. Kels, what do you got, bud?
I went with Cortana, but I'm wishing I went with Clippy.
I know.
I'm wishing.
In a way, I do too. But all right, so the answer is, of course, Cortana. But when I was writing this quiz, it was with our old co-host Vinny that he kind of we kind of both figured it out at the same time. Like, Microsoft has Halo, which has Cortana, and their kind of like Siri, as it were, is also Cortana. I never knew that. I never put that together until a couple days ago. Crazy, but the answer, yes, is Cortana.
Clippy says, "I see you'd like to teabag your opponent. Would you like that?"
And I respond with, Clippy, when did you get like this? You used to help me with my Word documents. Now you're asking me about violating my opponents. Clippy, things just got weird. All right, what do we got for scores?
After round 4, Neil has 81, Davo 92, and Kells 102.
Ooh.
All right, we're all still dancing. Good deal.
I'm hanging in there.
Category 5, we are going to be diving into movies.
I love movies.
Big fan.
I am so bad at movies. It's not even funny. All right, number 1. Of the following 6 movies, oh yes, I said 6, which has never had a video game based on it? A, Nightmare Before Christmas. B, Free Willy. C, Home Alone. D, Jurassic Park. E, Back to the Future. Or F, Hook.
I'm locking in.
Sound like you're doing that to the McDonald's thing.
I'm locking in.
I'm stuck between 2.
I'm locked in.
Oh, okay. I'm locked in.
All right, Kels, go ahead, bud.
I was stuck between A or B because I was pretty confident on like C through F.
Okay.
Played a couple of them, but I went with Free Willy, B.
All right, and Neil?
So I was kind of torn There were some kind of obscure movies that are not obscure movies, but movies that you wouldn't think would make very good video games, and then some that obviously have had video games.
Sure.
And I couldn't decide if this was a trick question one way or the other, so I decided to go with a trick question a third way and say that none of them have never had a video game, and that is the trick.
That's some.
Oh boy.
That's some mental tai chi you got going on over there, man.
I appreciate you giving me credit for being that mischievous, but I am
It's
not,
basically
so.
a way of punting.
Davo.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, there you go. Way to be creative, man. I appreciate that.
I was in the same boat as Kells, except I said A, Nightmare Before Christmas.
All right. Well, Hook definitely did. Never played it, but I know it existed. Back to the Future did. Jurassic Park did, and it was awesome for Sega.
It was very good. It was very good.
So cool. Home Alone was one of the better Sega Genesis games ever. It was so much fun. Nightmare Before Christmas was an Xbox game.
Oh, crap.
Leaving B, Free Willy, that never had a game.
I just didn't see how it would work.
They put Echo.
Yeah,
the
you know
Dolphin
what's
was a
funny?
game.
That's exactly
Yes,
what it
Echo.
was. Echo the Dolphin. All right, number 2. Bridget Wilson may be more famously known as Veronica Vaughn in Billy Madison than her female lead in Miss Fighting Tournament movie, which is arguably one of the better video game movies ever made, because most of them are not good.
Locked in.
I'm locked in.
I'm locked in.
All right. Davo?
Mortal Kombat!
Dun, 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 dun. Neil?
I made a wild guess of Mortal Kombat because it seemed like it was the right time frame if she was in Billy Madison.
Did you say Mortal Kombat or Mortal Kombat?
I said Mortal Kombat.
Wait, that's incorrect. That's just incorrect. I'm sorry. And Kels, what do you got?
For the flawless victory for the group, I went with Mortal Kombat.
I appreciate the flawless victory in that, so I will no longer make you have to scream it. But yes, it is in fact.
I was hoping they'd give me points.
So it is Mortal Kombat. Veronica Vaughn or Bridget Wilson was Sonya Blade.
I was hoping so, because I had never seen Billy Madison.
Oh, really? You never seen Billy Madison? That's a weird way to. It's a classic. I mean, I was gonna say it's a classic, but that's kind of weird. I don't know if it's a classic, but it's kind of a classic.
It's one of the Sandler movies that is highly revered. I mean, it's
Yeah, and I'll
next
tell
to
you-
Happy Gilmore.
I'll tell you what. Aside from those two movies, I just can't freaking stand Adam Sandler.
What about Waterboy?
To be fair, he plays the same character in every single movie he's ever played.
He does.
He has some dude with a weird voice who, for no reason, just starts screaming out of nowhere.
He does, but the football is the devil. That's just so funny.
I got a soft spot for Big Daddy though. Big Daddy is funny as hell to me.
But Steve. Yeah, I mean, his movies have a couple of good spots, man, but I just can't stand his acting. I don't know. It is what it is.
Yeah, I'm not a fan either.
All right.
His sticker
Yeah,
is
see?
nice.
Thank you. All right. Number 3. The Adventures of the Warrior Talion and the Dead Elf Prince Celebrimbor is the video game exclusive story of what book and movie franchise? And that means the video game is what's the word they use for like main storyline? Canon. Okay, so the video game is not canon, but it's an exclusive story just for the video game.
I'm locked in.
Based on a book movie franchise.
Locked in.
I felt like you made up those two names. I have no idea what the hell is going on.
If I could make up the name Celebrimbor, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now.
Celebrimbor, and what was the other character's name?
Talion. That one I probably could have came up with.
All right, I'm locked in.
All right, Neil, what do you got?
So I have no independent knowledge of this video game, but Celebrimbor sounds very Tolkien-esque, so I went with Lord of the Rings.
Okay, and Devo?
I have independent knowledge of this video game because I played it today.
Oh,
Lord of the Rings.
All right, and Kels.
Oh man, I pulled this out of a place that I'm not sure if I can say on the show, but I also said Lord of the Rings.
All right, the answer is Lord of the Rings. Well done, gentlemen. Another just absolutely great game. Now, some people would say it's basically the same thing as Assassin's Creed, and I say, shut up.
I agree. Thank you for that. It is amazing.
It is
just
an
3
amazing
hours
game.
ago. Just 3 hours ago, I was beheading orcs. It was so fun.
Yeah, so much fun. Just saying. I told people, don't judge me. This is my life. I'm going to live it however I want to do it. All right. So that's points for everybody, and we're going to go on to question number 4. What game, which was based on a popular movie, was recently dug out of a landfill in New Mexico, along with several hundred other games, and sold for a top price of $1,500, even though it was thought of as one of the worst video games of all time?
I'm locked in.
I'm locked in.
Oh, excellent. Davo, want to go first?
Yes. E.T.
All right. And Kels?
I had to use a lifeline, and I phoned home, and I went with E.T. the Extraterrestrial.
Those one-liners are just freaking brilliant. I love it. All right, Neil, what do you got?
E.T.
The answer is E.T., the Extraterrestrial. What a horrible game that looked like. I never played it, but the videos look ridiculous.
I actually played it. It was terrible.
I trash.
Yeah, so another thing that's something else that could very much come up in trivia. I don't know why, but they love it. It's 2014. So basically, what happened was toward the end of Atari's big run, it was around the holidays, and there was a big order for a crap ton of games, including ET. So they kind of overproduced, but then as that season kept rolling, competitors started coming out, and they got a whole bunch of canceled orders because people were going for the competitors, which led to a massive surplus in Atari games. And naturally, their idea was, let's just bury it. Where they sat for, it's great. So there was rumors of like close to 1 million or something like that, but it was only in the thousands, which is still a lot. But they buried them all, including several ETs, and the highest game sold out of that whole group was an ET game for $1,500.
Somebody paid
just to be disappointed.
$1,500 for an ET game that was literally in the trash.
Hey man, I don't judge. I just say, what the hell are you doing? All right, so what are we looking at now for scores?
111 for Neil, 122 for Davo, and Kel's pulling away a little bit with 142.
Oh, all right, Kels. All right, so let's go on to the last category of the round, and I named this category Endgame. The Endgame. All right, number 1, probably one of the harder ones on this quiz, I think. In the legendary game Portal, what tasty dessert is the silent protagonist promised to receive at the end of the tests?
Locked in?
Locked in.
That's a little intimidating. I've never played this game, know next to nothing about it.
Portal is an amazing puzzle game. It's a lot of fun. Kels, go ahead and go first, bud.
I wrote down apple pie.
Apple pie. All right, Neil.
Well, if you're telling the truth, I think it's cake.
All right, and Davo.
Cake.
The answer is cake, but the cake is a lie.
What?
You never, ever get the cake in the game. All right, number 2. In 1985's Super Mario Brothers, levels are named with 2 numbers. The first representing the world number, followed by a dash, and then a number that represents the level inside that world. What was the name of the final level in Super Mario Brothers in 1985?
Man, I don't feel comfortable about this at all, but I'm locked in.
Yeah, I'm locked in.
I'm locked in.
All right, Kels, go ahead and go first, bud.
I went with 8-8.
All right, and Neil?
I played Super Mario Brothers once, I think. I'm trying to remember the screen. I think he like walked around to go to the different worlds, right? There's kind of an overworld screen, or am I thinking of a different game?
That
you're
was Super
thinking,
Mario Brothers
you're probably
3.
thinking about
So-
later Mario, yeah.
Yeah,
That's Super Mario.
3 and
Oh,
Super
well.
Mario World, yeah.
In that case, this is probably way off. But I was trying to remember that screen that I haven't seen in probably 30 years, and I was picturing 8 things, and I thought there were 4 levels in each of the worlds, so I went with 8-4.
All right, and Davo?
I also went with 8-4.
He's still back into 8-4. It is so amazing. It absolutely is 8-4.
Yeah,
That's incredible. I love it.
I'm incensed. Actually, I'm boiling over with rage.
I know it's. I'm just floating. This is amazing. This is so much. This is amazing. And to watch someone back into something, they're thinking about a different game altogether, and they still come up with the right answer. That's just fabulous.
I wonder how many there are in Super Mario 3, and if because I'm probably way off.
Man, I think there was 10 in each world. I think.
It was quite a few in Super Mario.
10, and then the what was that? A boat or
Yeah,
There was
the
a
flying ship.
a
Yeah.
flying boat. Yeah. So maybe 11 or so. All right. So yeah, it's Neil and Davo on that one. So let's go on to number 3. In the Mario Kart series, what track almost exclusively wraps up every title under the Mario Kart series?
I'm locked in.
I'm locked in.
I'm locked in.
All right, Neil, I believe you were first.
I said the last one.
When you're right, you're right. Gosh darn it, that makes sense. All right, and Davo, I think you were next.
So I haven't played a whole lot of Mario Kart, I should say, but there's a rainbow track, so I went with the rainbow one.
Okay, and Kels?
I went with the lava track.
All right. The correct answer is actually Rainbow Road, but I will give it to you, Davo. It is Rainbow Road because I was so callous to you on that first
Thank you.
time. I don't remember what the question was, but there was something in the past that references this. So
Well, there was the time that you gave them 10 points each because they bracketed the correct answer.
yeah, I know. But I don't remember.
remember.
Oh, the buttons. That's right. That was so much fun. Hey, but look, I'm making it up to you. So enough with the dude guy.
You are fair. You are a just and fair questionnaire.
Ah, see, there you go. That'll get you your points. All right. Yep, Rainbow Road. I actually think it's in every single Mario Kart, and it's always usually the hardest one, the last one. So, all right, last one of the main part of the game. In what game would players typically die of illnesses such as measles, typhoid, and most famously, dysentery?
Locked in.
Locked in.
I'm locked in.
All right, Dave, I don't think we started with you in a while, so what do you got?
The Oregon Trail.
All right, and Neil?
So archive.org has a whole bunch of video games that you can play online from like old Commodore games or Apple II games. And I was playing around with that just a few days ago, I think this weekend. And I played the Oregon Trail and died of dysentery and among other things.
If you're playing Oregon Trail and you die of anything but dysentery, you did it wrong. You should always die of dysentery.
I think 1 or 2 people
All right,
drowned.
and Kels, what do you got?
I went with the Oregon Trail Blazers.
It is the Oregon Trail. I was gonna give you some crap for saying Blazers, but I like it. It's all good. Oregon Trail it is. People dying of drowning. Come on. Die of dysentery like a man. All right, so how are we looking on scores?
At the end of regulation, the scores are 141 for Neil, 152 for Kells, and 162 for Davo.
Oh man, this is tight.
It was a good game.
All right, the final category will be classic video game.
What did I have? 152?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm locked in with my wager.
Also locked in.
I'm locked in.
All right, gentlemen, good luck. In a classic video game, one of my favorites from back in the day, I need 5 of the 14 moving obstacles in the Nintendo Classic Paperboy. And I will accept, you guys can be relatively vague. That 8-bit's kind of hard to tell what they were doing.
All right, I'm locking in with what I've got.
I'll lock in.
I'm locked in.
All right, so what we can do is I'll go down the list, and then you guys can just check mark if you have them down or not.
Excellent.
All right. So we're looking for 5 of the following 14 things that could weirdly kill you in Paperboy. A bicycle tire or a tire.
Got it.
A remote-controlled car.
Got it.
Got it.
A skateboarder
I
who needs to
I
slow
put
the hell down.
skateboard. Is that close enough?
Yeah, I'll take skateboard.
I got one.
A grandma who is trying to murder you with a rolling pin for some reason.
I got it.
Oh, I forgot about her.
I got the old
I
lady.
forgot about that. I forgot about
Surprisingly,
that one.
a shockingly spry woman in her 80s for running that fast after doing a bike with a rolling pin. It's like, hey, I'm trying to give you your damn paper. Like, stop chasing me down with your rolling pin, you lady. Like, come on.
$2.
Calm down. I did not throw it through your window this week. Okay. Next up would be a break dancer or dude putting on his pants.
I did not.
Do you remember that guy? Just stay on his back putting on his pants or something? That guy was great. There was a construction worker or a guy with a jackhammer. Or it looked like he was a guy who was adjusting his pants constantly. All right. There was a kid on a tricycle or a go-kart.
I got that.
All right. There was a dog.
Got it.
Got it.
There were motorcycles that went by real quick at the end.
I put bicycle, but not
I
motorcycle.
remember that, but I didn't write it.
You can maybe get that for the kid on a tricycle. It kind of looked like a bicycle. There was the grating in the streets.
Okay.
There was a child who had run into the street.
No.
Cars.
Got it.
Got it.
There was a little tornado.
I remember that.
The little magical tornado, which I never understood how that happened. And last but not least, well, maybe least, and probably the most bizarre, the Grim Reaper was just there for no reason.
Wanted his $2.
Yeah, he would just crab walk into this and hope that you ran into him.
I did not put the Grim Reaper.
So how do y'all do?
Well, I got 4.
I got 4.
All right, and then Kel just had 4 too.
Yeah, I got 4.
All right, and Davo, how'd you do?
I got 5.
Hey, excellent.
Woohoo!
All right, what were our wagers?
Well, I guess it's kind of pretty much academic at this point, but I felt very unconfident in my ability to answer this question, so I bet 0. So I'm still at 141.
Smart move.
Kells?
I bet 27.
Oh,
Kells at 125, and Davo?
I bet 153.
whoa!
That puts you at 315. Welcome to the 300 Club.
Love the 300 Club. The air is great up here.
Gentlemen, all of you guys, great game. Davo, congratulations, bud.
Thank you very much, Billy. I appreciate it. Would you like to, do you have something you'd like to say to our listeners about your wonderful show?
Sure. Once everyone who's listening is done listening to, the weekly Brain Ladle, hop over to Trivia Rogues. Give us a subscribe, and if you just want to learn something that you may not know, then hopefully we can help you do that. We cover anything, like for me, for instance, and I've covered topics such as Richard the Lionheart. We've discussed Joan of Arc. We've discussed beer. We've discussed fast food franchises, who makes the most money, who's got the most locations, and we also have quizzes, so you can also participate in a little bit of question answer. But it's a good time. So once you're done listening to these guys, why don't you give us a try? That's Trivia Rogues.
Are you on the Twitter?
Yes, we are on Twitter. We're on Facebook, and that's Trivia Rogues.
See, we're on the Twitter at Ladle Brain, and that's how we got this wonderful collaboration started. We're also on Facebook. So in this little trivia family we're building, thank you everybody for listening. I am Davo with Billy.
Yes, sir.
And
thanks, everybody.
Neil.
I watched a lot more TV than I played video games.
And Kells.
I'm in a glass case of emotion.
Oh.
Signing off.
The preceding podcast was presented by Brain Ladle Productions. All rights reserved.
Why was that old lady trying to murder you with a rolling pin? It's like, just a kid. What kind of creepy-ass old woman tries to murder people with a rolling pin? I am a very fair and gracious host. Wait, I'm not a host here. Am I a host?
No, I'm a host. You're a questionnaire.
That's not fair.
Hey, get your own podcast.